Hey Valley Metal, welcome back to another math video. Tonight we're going to be solving two-step equations. These are kind of fun, but they can be challenging. Let's start off with our just for fun trivia question. From the book of Crazy Records, what is the world's longest pizza? This one's kind of fun. Alright, tonight officially our target is I can solve two-step equations using inverse operations. Let's do this thing. Tara had some extra king-size candy bars left over from Halloween. She divided them equally amongst the 4 members of the quad. That's a group of her friends. She then gave each member 10 additional pieces of small candy that was left over. Each quad member ended up with 13 pieces of candy. How many candy bars did she start with? Well, you could probably figure it out, but I'm using simple numbers here to help illustrate how we could write an equation for this. Well, she started off with some candy bars and she divided them among 4 people. And then she gave each person 10 additional pieces of candy, so they all ended up with 13. Now that wasn't that difficult to write, was it? No, we've been spending time writing them. We've been spending time solving equations like this, and then equations that just said C plus 10. But this now is a two-step equation. So we have to take a slightly different process in doing this. Conventional wisdom would say, well, you have to do multiplication or division first. But in this case, we are going to be actually adding or subtracting first. So let's take a look at the work. We got to get rid of the 10 on this side in the process of isolating this variable. So we subtract 10 from both sides. These 10s cross off. You end up with C divided by 4 equals 13 minus 10, which is 3. Then you got to get rid of the 4 down here in the denominator. So the way to get rid of divided by 4 is we multiply by 4. But you have to do it on both sides. Balance that equation out. These guys just cross off and you have 3 times 4, which is 12. So you get C equals 12. And you can pop it in and see if it works. 12 candy bars divided amongst 4 people would be 3. Plus 10 little pieces of candy, total of 13 pieces of candy. See what I mean by some real math? Yeah, we're going to use the railroad tracks, and it's kind of this framework tonight as we do this. Your brothers and sisters, if they're in high school or upper middle school, they'll look at it and go, oh, you're doing equations. They'll know exactly what you're doing. All right, some must-know words. First of all, one-step equation, that's what we've been doing. These are where you isolate the variable in one operation, like C plus 10, C minus 10, 10C, etc. So these are examples of multiplication equations. 3x equals 12. Here's the division equation. X divided by 4 equals 3. Sorry, division equation, yes. Addition equation, 2 plus x equals 3. And the subtraction equation, x minus 2 equals 1. So all of these equations are named for whatever operation they are. Now in two-step operations, equations, we're going to have to isolate the variable, and it takes 2 operations. And for us, we're going to be adding or subtracting first and then multiplying or dividing. So here's the two-step equation. We've got some addition and multiplication. Here, we got addition and division. So, what does this picture here have to do with anything? I can't put my arms down. Yeah, it's from the Christmas story. They run it all day on Christmas. What does it have to do with anything? It might be random. But wait, he appears on this page too. Order matters. That's what the point of the picture is. When this kid got dressed, he put on his suit and then he put on his boots, right? Plus all the other junk. But when getting undressed, he has to take his boots off before he takes his suit off, right? So you have to change the order a little bit. So order matters in these problems as well. When you look at this equation here, we've got addition and multiplication. How we do this or solve this, the order matters. Let's just take and say, hey, we're going to get rid of this divided by 3 first, and let's see if it works. Oops, where's my... There it is. Okay, so first of all, we would divide by 3 on both sides, and that would leave us, well, divide by 3 over here, 14 divided by 3. These guys cross off. This gets a little bit messy, but you have 4 2/3. If things get messy, for our lesson here, you probably did the wrong thing first. I'm going to keep it to whole numbers. But what we end up with is x plus 2 equals 4 2/3. You do this on a calculator, you're going to get 4.6666 repeating, which is 4 2/3. So then if we subtract the 2 from both sides, we have isolated the variable. 4 2/3 minus 2 is 2 2/3. But if you pop that into the calculator, you don't get 14. You get like 10. That ain't going to happen. Order matters. We have to add or subtract first and then multiply or divide. Check this out. When we subtract 2 first, these cross off. Now you've got 3x equals 12. You divide by 3 on both sides. Here's the divide by 3, divide by 3. Now you get x is 4. And this one here actually does work. If I can find the answer, I guess we're going to have to do this. There it is. 3 times 4, 12, plus 2 is 14. What did you learn from this ridiculous connection with Christmas Story and a kid in a snowsuit? Order matters. If you put your suit on and then your boots, when you get undressed, you got to take your boots off first. We are undoing this equation. And so we're going to undo it. We'll have to kind of reverse the order of operations and get rid of the addition or subtraction before we deal with multiplication and division. All right, let's take a look at a couple, and then I'll have you try some. 6y plus 2 equals 26. What will be our first operation here? What do you think? How about the second? Well, first we've got to get rid of the 2, and then we've got to get rid of the 6y. So we're going to do subtraction first, and then we'll have to divide to get rid of that. So I subtracted 2. Oops, my thing slid over. Sorry about that. I subtracted 2 and subtracted 2. Now we're just left with 6y equals 24. Now we have to divide this side by 6 and this side by 6. Again, 6 divided by 6 is just 1y, or just plain y. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Check our answer, see if it makes sense. Just popping this 4 in place of the y. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2, 26. Slam bam, thank you, ma'am. All right, time for you to try one. Solve this two-step equation. Think about, what will your first operation be? What will your second operation be? How do you undo that? Order matters. Okay, we're going to have to subtract first, and then you're going to have to divide to get rid of this multiplication. So I subtract 4 from both sides. I've got 3h equals 36. Divide by 3 on both sides. The 3's cross off because 3 divided by 3 is just 1, or just plain h. 36 divided by 3 is 12. You certainly can use a calculator on these as well. See if it checks out. 3 times 12, 36, plus 4, 40. Great. That wasn't so bad, was it? All right. Now these ones here get a little scary, these division problems, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. So what's going to be the first step, second step? Well, now we got division, so that's scary. But we're going to first have to get rid of this 3. So we're going to subtract 3. And then how do you get rid of division? Well, what's the opposite of division? What's the inverse operation? Multiplication. So then we're going to multiply. So we'll subtract and then multiply. Let's do this thing. It's right here. Here we go. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. These 3 cross off. Sorry, I don't know where my thing is, so I will just make one. It's kind of big, but it'll work. And then when we subtract, we're going to have 5 minus 3 is 2. So now we have z divided by 4 equals 2. How do you get rid of divided by 4? Again, we're always on this side trying to isolate the variable. We're going to multiply by 4. We've got multiplied by 4 and divided by 4. These will cross off because this is really just 4 over 1. So the 4's cross off, and you're left with z, or 1z, that's isolated. 2 times 4 is 8. Let's pop it in and see if it works. 8 divided by 4 is 2, plus 3 is 5. You ready to try division one? All right, go ahead. Think about it. What's your plan? What's the first step? What's the second step? Go ahead. All right, got to get rid of the minus 10 first. Get rid of minus 10 using the inverse operation. You add 10. So now you have m divided by 4 equals 22. How do you get rid of divided by 4? You multiply by 4, just like in the last problem. So the 4's are going to cross off. You still have to multiply on this side, 22 times 4, and you get 88. Check out your answer. 88, that would be right up here with m. 88 divided by 4 is 22. Minus 10 is not 22. Minus 10 is 12. Sorry about the typo. All right. Very good. You are ready for your ticket to the show problems. Go ahead. Copy those down. Okie dokie. take a look at this crazy record. What is the world's longest pizza? I was stunned by the length of it. The old record was 600, set in Italy. This pizza that these guys are making here, they did it, let's just scroll down here, see if I can't see it. I guess I got to put myself up here. Entered in the Guinness Book of World Records, 1.32 miles. Now, if you think about being at Valley Middle School, 1.32 miles would be probably like walking from Valley Middle School all the way to Apple Valley Target. Maybe a little farther than that, or like walking from Valley Middle School to Byerly's in Burnsville. It is a long way. So they did it with a combination of pizza oven makers and bakers, and they shattered it. The 600-foot record. So this was in 2017. Wonder what they did with all the pizza. Think about that. That would be a lot of pizza to feed people. Hopefully they didn't waste it. All right, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.